Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gemma's Window. It is May 2020, and if you are a power year number 2, then you have come to the right place. Hey, twos, if you'd like to check out the how to get your power year number to be sure you are indeed a 2, you can see a calculation in the information box below. Or you can jump onto my website at gemmaswindow@gmail.com, and you'll find the calculations to get your power year number there. Just a reminder, twos, you only have to calculate your power year number once for the year of 2020. The monthly numbers change, but that's where I come in. Okay, twos, you are in the month of 7 during this month of May 2020. Now, a quick refresher on those numbers are that if you're a power year number 2, it's a year of teamwork for you. It is a great year to make a commitment with someone and become a team in a relationship. We're going to be talking a lot about that. It can be a year that you're also challenged, perhaps, let's just say at the workplace, where you have to work with a certain person or people who aren't your cup of tea, and therefore you have to learn to be a team. It can be a year of peacemaking for you. It's also a good year to have a family and expand on that. So we're going to be taking a look at those things, but just a reminder on what the month of 7 is 7 is about focus and being quiet. And we're going to use this information of the number 7 and the number 2, and we're going to use tarot cards, and we're going to use my clairvoyance, and with all of those things and the meanings of the cards, put all of those meanings together for you twos to figure out what are you supposed to be focusing on, what's going on around you that it's best not to say too much, to sit back and observe. Now, sometimes I have found when I'm doing a 7, either a year or a month, that I'll get cards that say, this is the right time to say something, but maybe in a certain way, but only to one person and not to the group. We'll have to see what we get. There's a lot more information to the numbers, but let's cross that bridge when we come to it in our reading. Let's start, twos, with looking at, I'm going to shuffle these cards now. We're going to look at twos who have employment, and then we're going to take a look at twos who are looking for employment. All of the cards across the board that I discuss, and all the meanings and all the words, are for you twos. So I just try to break it up to make it a little bit more tangible. But if, say, you don't have a job and the words that I'm saying for have a job, twos, makes more sense to you, that's fine. It's all for you. I'm just trying to be more specific because the reading is general and I want to make it work. I want to make it work and make it interesting for you. Okay, twos, we are taking a look at, for those of you who are looking for work. Now, I feel like there is, I'm not looking for work, I'm sorry, twos. I was looking at the cards. For those of you who are working, twos, I feel like there's some kind of disconnect going on at work. There's something that you're nervous about or anxious about, and I think that you're right. And I think that there is something going on. There can even be something in a legal way going on at work, or if it doesn't get as far as an actual legal issue, it can be an issue of really serious right or wrong. And you're very, very nervous about how it's going to play out in this month of May. And I feel like it's going to continue through this month of May, this unknowing, this feeling like people are holding out. I'm not getting all the information. I'm suspecting that I'm not getting all of the information. And according to this read, you're correct in that. So you're in this month of 7, and I feel like the advice is that you kind of have to just wait and see. The Justice card is also about fairness, and so people are behind the scenes trying to do what is fair for everyone. And on a nice note for you, you're in the month of 7, and you will be in the month of financial success in June. And I'm hoping, I'm thinking about, we're all in this quarantine together. And even if you are in a business that's out there working, a lot is on hold. And it does cause a lot of anxiety because you don't know what's going to happen at the end of this. Things are still going to shift, and things are still going to change, and who is going to stay and who is going to go, and who's going to be asked to stay and who's going to be asked to go. And I just don't think there's a whole lot that you can do about it. And I'm not going to pull cards for June for you because I'm not doing an individual reading. So that's going to be different for everybody. But I will say that you, unlike anybody else, are entering a month of financial success, and that's in June. And so even if one thing doesn't work out for you in a workplace, it may work out someplace else. Let's take a look, choose, at those of you looking for work in this month of May. Or maybe you have a job and you're just sending out feelers. Maybe there's a promotion at hand. All of these cards are for you too. In one way, shape, or another, they're all for you. We're shuffling these cards now, but we're going to try to specifically look at those of you who are looking for work in this month of May, if you are a number 2. And here you have a 7 of Cups right here, which is nice because we're right on. I just feel like there's just this waiting, and that seems to be your theme so far, twos, in this month of May. Now, I do have that you have the right tools in mind, you've talked to the right people or the right mentors, you're getting the right guidance, or maybe you're thinking in your mind, when things fall back into place in the world, this is what I'm going to do, or this is who I'm going to talk to. And there is this dragging it out situation in your life. However, you do have the right ideas. We're going into, for you, the Hermit card, which is about having patience and waiting, and that things work out for you at the end of it in a better way if you just can have that patience and waiting. It can also, the Hermit card can also talk about schooling and more education, or that you make up your mind that you need that, or the advice is from this mentor or program that you're looking at that you need an extra certification or something along those lines. And I find you coming from being very antsy. Very antsy and like something's got to get better. Why isn't something happening here? What's going on? And impatient. And you're being forced to have patience in this situation and understand, again, it's this teamwork year that you've got going on here across the board of you're not running these, whether you have the job or you don't have the job, you're not running the show or making the final decision in certain issues, some of you, and unfortunately you are depending on others, and that is that teamwork thing, to let you know what's going on, or to have your back, and so that you're taken care of in the long run. Um, but again, all the twos out there are moving into this financial success in June. The opportunity for recognition, the opportunity for promotion, the opportunity for a raise, the opportunity to win something, the opportunity for that new job. You are heading towards that. It's the best month for you in the month of June. Okay, twos. I hope that that's helped some of you out there understand what's going on in your lives in this month of May. I'm going to shuffle these cards now, twos, and let's take a look at relationships, okay? Let's take a look at those of you who are in a relationship, and then we'll take a look at those of you looking for a relationship. Again, all the cards are for you two, so whatever works for you, take it and run. But I'm going to try to divide it up to make it more interesting and make it more specific. Okay. For our, oh, that's nice. For our twos who are in a relationship. Really nice, twos. You are in a year of success. For relationships, and it looks to me like you have something that's moving very fast, or it's going to just pick up and take off for you. You're coming from a place of thinking that, Jesus, are we ever going to get this going? Are we ever going to finally get engaged? Are we ever going to see each other again? Are we ever going to get married? Are we ever going to just commit to each other? And the answer is yes. You have a fabulous month here, opportunity in May to make this happen, and then you go into recreation after that and a whole new beginning. So you are going to make it through this quarantine if you're separated, or this quarantine is going to work for you in some which way. And I think a lot of us are, when we're home, we start thinking about, well, where are we in life? And what do I really want to do when I get back out there? And it's going to work for you in this instance in your relationship. That's awesome. Let's take a look for those of you who are looking for love. You're looking for love. You're looking for a relationship. And let's see what transpires for you. This looks like some changes are needed for you twos. Okay, so you're in this month of 7. Now, these cards that I have in front of me, 7s, are action cards. 7 is notoriously about being quiet, sitting back, waiting, watching, observing, and coming through with your opinions at a different time. That may be happening because it may be forced upon you during this time of quarantine. But your cards are action cards, and they're showing that you are working somehow behind the scenes in addition to being stuck home, say, or backed into a corner in some way, or just observing. But I have here that you decide that you are willing to make compromises, make changes for love, go to them, go to their door, and it works for you. This works for you. You may be trying different sources of dating, different sources of getting out there, whereas on one hand you're sitting home because you're on the computer, that's just an example, and you're talking to people that way, and that's something that you've never done before, and you feel like you're sticking your neck out, but it's actually working. It's going to work for you. Something where you're doing, you've taken some advice perhaps from somebody else, or you're following somebody else's example who's had luck in a certain area, or somebody is just, maybe your mom has given you some advice and said, look, maybe you've got to think about this, and this. And it's you who's doing the movement. It's you who's doing the changing for someone else. And it really works for you. It's not you sitting back waiting for them. Very, very nice. It looks very nice for you twos, and I'm glad. It's a good year for you for a relationship. Now, our final frontier twos. This is where you ask any question you want. And you can ask again about business, you can ask about love, and you can see what is the best outcome for any question at all that you have twos. All right, let's take a look. Okay. Well, this is interesting. We have very successful cards here surrounding you, where everything that you want is circling you. And the suggestion from the cards of how to get it is by actually standing up for yourself and saying what you want. Now again, it's a contrast to, we have this month of 7 that oftentimes is an inhale and don't exhale until the next month. And maybe that's the case because you're forced to. Circumstances are very different for a lot of us right now. But I feel like you have the opportunity for having it all in the relationship, your family, having a very happy family life, and you have an opportunity for a very successful partnership, or impressing a boss, or impressing a new employer or business partner of some kind. But it is a little bit of, I can see this, where it is a little bit of a sit back and say, I can't do it all. These are my priorities. Focusing on that. 7 is very focused. So focusing on, what do I really want? How much am I really willing to give? And putting it out there, and then doing the inhale and watching to see who grabs for it. Who's willing to take what you're willing to offer, even if you've pulled some of yourself back. And that is across the board the way to go for you, is to be yourself and offer what is best and comfortable for you, and let the chips fall where they may. And they're going to fall. They're going to fall towards you on your behalf. You're going to do very well. And whatever your question is, stand by your well, I was going to say stand by your guns, but I don't think that's the exact phrase. But, well, I still can't think of the exact phrase. But you know what I mean, twos. Be yourself. And it looks to me like you're going to win right across the board. And that can be in job and career. And it's so nice. It's such a nice message and such a nice reading for you twos. I'm leaving it at that. I'm getting out of here and running. Okay, twos, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful May 2020. Good luck with everything. If you'd like to know more about me, hop onto my website at gemmaswindow@gmail.com. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. I'd love to have you. Thanks, twos. See you next time.